Arguably, Ian Wright is the most natural finisher we've ever had at the club, while many say Thierry Henry is the greatest player to ever wear the shirt. But for 9 years we had a genius who scored 178 times, all via the left wing. And this is his story. In October 2005, Thierry Henry broke the all-time Arsenal goal-scoring record with a double away to Sparta Prague in the Champions League. His second goal that night, taking his overall tally at the time to 186 goals, surpassing the record set by the one and only Ian Wright. In September 1997, I watched with my dad and my brother in the West Upper at Highbury when Wrighty broke the previous record. Remember the t-shirt? 179, just done it. In the build-up to Wrighty's big moment, there was the inevitable countdown. It wasn't a case of if, it was when. And with that countdown, a name was reintroduced to a generation of Gooners. A man who had actually held the goal-scoring crown of Arsenal for nearly 60 years. That man was Cliff Bastin. Bastin was from Exeter in Devon. He made his Exeter debut in 1928 at the age of 16. He went on to play only 17 times for his hometown club, scoring 6 goals. Soon after, the great Herbert Chapman had been tipped off about a Watford player that might interest him, so he travelled to Watford's next game to take a look. Watford's next game was away to Exeter. On that day, only one player stood out on that pitch, and he wasn't in a Watford shirt. Cliff Bastin was now on Herbert Chapman's radar, and in April 1929 he stepped through these doors. At the age of just 17 he signed for Arsenal. The fee was a whopping, hold on to your hats, £2,000. That's around 128 grand today. Bargain. Bastin made an immediate impact. In his first season with the Gunners, he made 29 appearances, bagged 11 goals and got himself an FA Cup winners' medal. At 18 years and 43 days old, he became at the time the youngest player to ever play in an FA Cup final. That year's FA Cup final was also notable for the 776-foot Graf Zeppelin that flew over the stadium at the start of the second half. Herbert Chapman soon converted him to a left winger, helping forge a formidable partnership with the mesmerising Alex James. With his unique skill and ice-cool temperament, he was soon assigned Arsenal's primary penalty taker and was an integral part of Arsenal's dominance over the next decade, winning 5 league titles, 2 FA Cups and 3 Charity Shields. In 1934, the sudden death of his mentor and friend Herbert Chapman hit him and the Arsenal hard. But a broken-hearted Bastin kept doing what he did best, continuing to hit the back of the net under the guidance of Chapman's successor, George Allison. He made his England debut in 1931. At 19 years, 249 days old, he became the youngest ever player to win an England cap, League Championship and FA Cup. In 1938, Bastin scored the first and assisted the second in a 6-3 victory over Germany in the Olympic Stadium in Berlin. High-ranking Nazis Hermann Göring and Joseph Goebbels were in attendance, so England's players were instructed to make a particular salute before the game to appease their hosts. They resisted to the point of mutiny, but under pressure from the Foreign Office, reluctantly went through with it. Bastin missed most of the 1938-39 season with injury. Then, with the outbreak of the Second World War in 1939, association football came to a halt. And of course, many of the Arsenal squad signed up to fight for king and country. At the time, aged only 27, Bastin's hearing had been in decline for some time. This meant he would fail his army medical. However, he did end up playing over 250 wartime games for Arsenal and scored over 70 goals. Sadly, these do not count in his official stats due to these games being mainly to boost civilian morale. But Bastin did way more than play football during the Second World War. He soon became an ARP warden and was stationed on top of Highbury Stadium alongside his friend and Arsenal trainer Tom Whitaker, who by 1945 had himself become a squadron leader. Interestingly, in 1941, a fascist propaganda message went out on Italian radio claiming that Cliff Bastin had been captured at the Battle of Crete and was being held in Italy. He wasn't. He was here, but it just goes to show how far his name has spread all the way through Europe. After the Second World War, he only went on to make 6 more appearances for Arsenal. His recurring leg injury just proved a bit too much for the man himself. In 1947, he called it a day. He retired, aged only 34. His honest and frank autobiography, Cliff Bastin Remembers, was published in 1950 and is one of the rarest Arsenal-based books out there. A good condition first edition, fetching up to £200 at auction. After retirement, he went back to his hometown of Exeter and became a publican. The footballing world bid a sad farewell to Cliff Bastin in 1991, aged 79. His wife of 52 years, Joan, passed away in 2012, aged 96. And at Exeter's home ground, St James's Park, there is a stand named in his honour. There's even a street named after him, just 2 miles from the ground. Now, arguably, Ian Wright is the most natural finisher we've ever had at the club, while many say Thierry Henry is the greatest player to ever wear the shirt. But for 9 years, we had a genius who scored 178 times, all via the left wing as well. Now, I know the standard of football has changed since Bastin's day, but those stats are undeniable. Those that saw him play spoke so highly of the boy Bastin. So next time you're over by the Emirates, come over to the northeast corner here and point out the man on the mural up there with the number 11 shirt. A man whose goal scoring record may still have stood to this day if it were not for injuries and the outbreak of the Second World War. The one and only Cliff Bastin.